Thank you, and thank you all for spending some time with us for Fox 5 News at noon. We always appreciate you being here. You can stay connected to us around the clock by following us on social media, but also watching us live throughout the day on Fox 5.
Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. The news continues here on Fox Local and all of our streaming platforms. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tyler Fingert. If you are looking for Portia, that is now streaming at 1 p.m. right here on Fox Local. You can also find clips for video on demand on our app. We are tracking a major development out of Tucson, where in just a few minutes we are expecting to get an update from the Pima County Sheriff's Office. You're looking at video on the right side of your screen there. That is where reporters and photographers are right now getting ready, setting up their mics. That is set to start at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So right about now, we're expecting to hear from the Pima County Sheriff, Chris Nanos, for an update on the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. She is the mother of the Today Show host, Savannah Guthrie. And so this has been obviously a trying time for that family. There was an emotional video posted yesterday by Savannah Guthrie and her siblings. And we just learned just within the last little bit that TMZ reported receiving a possible ransom note that demanded millions of dollars be sent in cryptocurrency to a specific Bitcoin address, and the note allegedly contained a deadline. That note TMZ reportedly received contained an element of or else. So obviously this is an investigation that is continuing. We are going to be tracking it. And I want to check in with Fox's Kaylee Schuyler, who is live in Tucson, Arizona right now with the very latest on this investigation. Last night I saw that video that Savannah posted online with her siblings, where she basically was just demanding proof of life, which is so obviously heartbreaking.
Yeah, Tyler, there's a lot of moving parts in this case, but not really a lot of answers right now. So we haven't heard from the sheriff since Tuesday. We know that news conference was delayed just a little bit. So a lot of people are anxiously awaiting some answers to a lot of the questions that we have here. Hopefully within the next couple of minutes, this news conference is going to start. And the last thing we have heard from the sheriff was a statement from yesterday morning, where he said they don't have any person of interest or suspect in this case right now, and they're just trying to follow any leads that they have. And Tyler, you mentioned the video. It was a very tearful, almost 4 minutes long, and the family describes Nancy as caring, funny, and joyful. And they mentioned this medication that Nancy has to take, and she needs it to survive every single day. And now this investigation has entered its 5th day. And when Savannah brings up the ransom note, she looks directly at the camera in this video, and she says they're ready to talk, but they need proof that Nancy is alive.
And our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer.
And so, Tyler, you mentioned, more about this ransom note. We've learned that TMZ and some local news stations say they received the ransom note through email, and then they turned it over to investigators. The note reportedly is asking for millions in cryptocurrency in exchange for Guthrie, and the outlets say it includes details about Nancy and the crime scene that aren't public knowledge. Now, Nancy was last seen Saturday night when she was dropped off at her home after dinner with family. The next day, she didn't show up for church, and the family by noon was calling 911. And last night, we saw a lot of activity at Nancy's home. We saw FBI, the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and Border Patrol. There are even canines out there. And I was standing here in front of the Sheriff's Department when that happened, and I was watching the camera, and I saw officers take something out of the home, but it was wrapped in paper. It was a really large object, so I couldn't tell exactly what it was. But this was after investigators said they had already processed the scene, and they had turned the house back over to the family. So we're also looking for answers for what was going on there in that news conference. conference. But President Trump says that he is telling federal agents that they are at complete disposal to the family and local law enforcement to bring Nancy home as quickly as possible. In Tucson, Arizona, Kaylee Schuyler, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, Kaylee, we know that there was obviously blood found outside the house. There's just so much unknown here. And the fact that they went back to the scene and to the home after saying on Tuesday that they were done, they wrapped up the scene there and that they turned it back over to the family. I know that they've been very tight-lipped on certain things. Do we know why they went back? And I know they also brought canines.
Yeah, they did say they were kind of doing a checkup on the home and the neighborhood. So it just kind of makes you wonder, did they receive a tip that they thought maybe they needed to go back and, circle again and see what was happening? But again, I did see them on the camera bring out a really large object from the home, but it was wrapped in this like brown paper, so you couldn't really tell. And then shortly after that, they took the crime scene tape back down. So again, we're hoping to get more answers on this. It's been about 48 hours since we've gotten any answers, and I kind of wondered last night if they were going to hold a news conference, because of course on Tuesday the sheriff said they weren't going to be holding another news conference until today unless something big happened. That seemed kind of big last night, but we haven't heard anything.
Kaylee, thank you so much. I know that news conference is going to be happening in just a few minutes. Thank you for your time, and hopefully we're able to get some more information and sharing it with our streaming audience here on Fox Local and Fox 5 Atlanta. And I want to give you one more look over at that news conference, which is, again, set to get underway. This is a live picture from inside the Pima County Sheriff's Office. That's in the Tucson area. We obviously know that, again, as Kaylee was mentioning, there's a lot that we're hoping to learn today. We know that video that Savannah Guthrie posted yesterday with her siblings was truly emotional, a little under 4 minutes. I watched it last night, and just listening to it, you could just tell that the pain that they are dealing with, that family, as they are just trying to obviously await answers and to try to bring their mom home. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie missing over the weekend and still gone on day 5 with very little clues that police have been able to release and the sheriff's office have been able to release there. Again, that news conference set to get started in just a little bit. But first, we want to bring you back closer to home, guys. We want to talk about the stories that we're tracking here in the Fox 5 newsroom. We have a team of reporters who are scattered throughout the Fox 5 viewing area right now to get you the news that you need to know and the stuff that you want to know. I want to bring in our assignment manager, Tanya Mendoza, who is the heartbeat of our newsroom. She's on the phone with viewers every single minute of the day, talking to our reporters. Tanya, what do we have working, and what do we expect later on today here on Fox Local and Fox 5 Atlanta?
Hi, Tyler. Yes, I was actually just on the phone with photographer Jim Zorn. He and reporter Tara Jabor are out covering the story of missing Nathan Murray Smith, 27 years old. This story's been creating a buzz because he's the son of entertainer, producer Lil Jon, and he's been missing since Tuesday. So there you see the picture. We are out in the neighborhood where the police are searching, and I think there's also volunteers searching today. But according to Jim Zorn, our photographer, there's a heavier presence out there today. There's dogs, police. Yesterday, police were flying their drones in the area. So we're going to follow this story closely. I think the main concern that authorities are worried about, they said that Smith left the home. He ran out the home on foot without his phone, and they're concerned he may need medical assistance. So we're following that story closely in Milton, and we'll have an update for you on this story later today.
To find him so that they can help the family. I know obviously he's a popular rapper, his father is, and they would love to see him come home. What's another story that one of our reporters are working on?
Allie Levine is out in DeKalb County. There was a fatal fire overnight where a total of 11 people were living in this home. 7 people did get out, 5 kids, 2 adults. But the others, unfortunately, perished in fire. We are waiting to hear from the DeKalb County medical examiner the official names of the victims. Allie has talked to neighbors and family members, and she's getting more details about what happened and who they were. So we'll have an update on this story later today as well.
Yeah, I woke up to the news. I saw the Fox 5 push alert on the Fox Local app, and I went to our website, fox5atlanta.com. Saw 4 people killed. Absolutely tragic. And we have more reporters out scattered around. I believe we have obviously it's Black History Month.
Yes, it is Black History Month, and we have several reporters that are going to be working on stories to bring them to you every week throughout the month. Today, we're going to kick it off with Kevin Stewart, who is actually taking a look at soul food versus Southern food, and he is going to have a great story about that today. He talks to Chef Todd Richards, who is basically, he doesn't only cook, he basically studies food, and he's known throughout the country for soul food cooking. He also went to the restaurant The Beautiful, I believe, in Adams Park, and talked to people there. So I'm excited to hear about this story tonight. It's going to be in our 4 o'clock show.
This is something we do every single year. We have a lot of Black History Month specials that our team work on. And then I know we also have a vigil coming up tonight in Gwinnett County, I believe, for the officers who were shot, one of them killed, sadly, over the weekend.
Yes, I do want to mention this because one of our night reporters will probably head out to this and cover this story tonight. But the 2 police officers were killed. Well, one was killed over the weekend, another shot. The suspect in the case was also shot. We are told that there is a vigil tonight at Crosspoint Church in Duluth. And this is organized by the church and the Police Foundation. I do want to read, if you don't mind, real quick, I want to read what was on the flyer that was posted on social media. Basically, it says, "Gather with our community to grieve and pray. We will remember Officer Temang, pray for Officer Reed, and our entire law enforcement community. A candle lighting will conclude the evening." So that is happening tonight. I know it's a big story, and community members will be out there, will be outside reporting on it as well.
Yeah, I know we have our team scattered throughout, and they're going to bring everyone the news here on Fox Local throughout the afternoon, and obviously on air on fox5atlanta.com and also on Fox 5 Atlanta. Tanya Mendoza, our assignment manager, thank you so much for joining us and giving us the update on what we're working on today. We appreciate your time. It's now time for a check of the forecast, and it's also National Weather Person's Day. I don't know if we can show it. There is a nice memorial or a nice little thing up in from the Georgia's own credit union that we have on camera that shows just basically thanking the weather and the meteorologists who do the job every single day. It says, "We love weather people." And if you look very closely on the left side, it says it's Paul Milliken's face, who's one of our meteorologists here. He's also one of our entertainment and feature reporters. But we don't have him today. We have my good friend Jonathan Stacy. He's standing by in our weather center. Jonathan, we had some snow this morning, or snow flurries this morning. We were getting a lot of videos into the newsroom. I was kind of shocked about that.
It seems like the focus is on northeast Georgia. They have just been getting all of the winter weather over the past several weeks, and they had ice, and then the next week they had snow, and before this week is all said and done, they've had some flurries that accumulated to basically a dusting. But we enjoyed seeing those photos come in this morning of the flurries flying across places like Gainesville and even as far south into Athens, and maybe even some portions of Gwinnett County, showing us a couple images this morning where you had some flakes flying. They won't be there by the end of the day because we're going to warm those temperatures up above freezing across the area. In fact, most temperatures are above freezing with the exception of Blairsville at 31 degrees at this hour. You finally delivered from freezing there in Canton at 33, 38 here in Atlanta, 38 for Noonan, 43 out there in Eaton. But it is a wind chill that it whispers or howls as those winds continue to come in out of the north and the west. It makes it feel like it's in the 20s across the area, with some feels like numbers shaping up in the 30s across those out east. In terms of the day, we're going to keep on pushing the gas on the temperature, but it's not going to do much. As hard as we press, the number's not coming up. We're looking at 46 degrees for our high temperature today, but even at the peak heat of the day, temperature is going to only feel like they're in the mid to upper 30s with those feels like numbers basically staking out in the mid to upper 30s for the remainder of the day. Here's Fox 5 Live Upper Radar. You can see those flurries now wandering across the lee of the Appalachians there, across upstate South Carolina, going into the Piedmont of North Carolina. That front that brought all that moisture now safely out into the Atlantic, but with some moisture pinwheeling around that area of low pressure, it's tapping in on some of that cold air, and that's what gave us our few of meager flurries for the morning. In terms of the next couple of days, we're going to push the cloud cover out. We'll still have some filtered sunshine for today, but then as we recover tomorrow, trying to get our ducks in a row, we're going to push the temperature up. We're going to try to crack maybe 60 degrees in some cases. Well, by the time we do that, this thing comes our way. We call it a trough, but it's actually a front. And that front is going to push through Friday night. It's not going to give you any rain. Maybe you'll get a wrap around a flurry or two on the backside of it. But it's going to bring us, if anything, a reinforcing shot of cold air. We got to do this one more time, folks, before we start warming things up. You can see here by Saturday morning those winds diving in directly out of the north and the west. And once again, a flurry or flake hopping the state line of Tennessee, crawling down into Georgia first thing Saturday morning. So let's take a look at the forecast here over the next 7 days. Here's what I have in my crowd. Okay, 58 tomorrow. I'm going to deduct 10 degrees from that for Saturday. Then after we shake it off on Sunday morning with a chilly low of 37 or 27 degrees, we're going to push the temperature to 56. Then we're at 64. Then we're almost to 70 by Tuesday. So Tyler, here's the deal. A warm-up is coming, and a warm-up is going to happen. That is safely in the picture. It just does not happen immediately. You're going to think it starts tomorrow, and then Saturday's going to offer up a little gut punch with the deduction of temperatures, as we'll likely stand in the 30s and 40s all day long. But by the time we get to Sunday, the heat, or the February heat, is unleashed. And I think somebody somewhere, especially on the south side, by Tuesday is going to tap 70 degrees. I don't think there's anybody anywhere, especially across North Georgia, complaining about that, considering the past 3 weeks we've had, especially bringing January to a close. I like February already.
I think we can all agree that we're going to love this 7-day forecast. I mean, look at that. We're in February. I was about to say January. We're in February. We just started February. We're nowhere close to spring getting underway, and it really feels like spring temperatures, and we're going to have some sunshine.
Meteorological spring the first day of March, so we're less than a month away. So we still got some winter to deal with. Winter's not definitely put to rest, but at least we're putting a pause on things. The average high for this time of the year runs around 57 degrees. By the time we get to March 1st, we should be around 60, 61 degrees for our average high. So this is going to feel like it is mid to late March, which, after all, is either meteorological spring or astronomical spring, which will hit during the 20th or so of March.
Jonathan, Stacy, thank you so much for that update and giving all of us the details and what we need to wear the next few days, because it looks like it's going to be short sleeves and shorts come Tuesday. Jonathan, thanks so much. And we're going to give you one more look right now. We are waiting on a news conference to get underway in Tucson, Arizona. Pima County Sheriff's Department is set to give an update any minute now on the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. You can see that they have the podium shot set up there. All the mic flags from all of the organizations, the news organizations are there, getting ready, waiting for Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos to walk out. We have not heard from him in a news conference style since Tuesday, but obviously we are hoping to learn some more details, and obviously we see some movement there, so we're not sure if it's about to get underway, but we know they're going to give us that update as soon as we can. But I can tell you, Nancy Guthrie, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, is the mother of the Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. She disappeared over the weekend. She was dropped off after a dinner Saturday night in her at her home in the Catalina Foothills area, and I do see Sheriff Chris Nanos from the Pima County Sheriff's Office walking up on another screen. We're going to take it for you right now, and he is now giving the update that we have been waiting for. Let's listen in.
All of you, an opportunity to ask a question. But last time we tried this, it was just kind of chaotic, people yelling. So I'd ask that You just kind of be patient with me, pay attention to the questions asked, because sometimes you guys want to ask the same question twice, and you're going to get the same answer. So help yourself get what you can out of this. I'm going to give you one question and a follow-up, okay? But before we get there, I do have some comments. First of all, I want to begin by offering our condolences to our partners at the state Department of Public Safety's tragically lost 2 members last night in a helicopter crash up in northern Arizona. So if you would keep them in your prayers, Colonel Glover and his team, I'm sure, would greatly appreciate it. Along the same lines, I think you all saw last night, I'm trying to speak up, not yell, because apparently I talk soft. We saw last night the family, they just hurt, understandably so. And so I really want you to know this entire team here, those behind me, and our community are hurting with you. We really just want Mom back, okay? Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home. Our department, the Sheriff's Department, along with all of our partners at the FBI, have been working around the clock. And we just want her home and find a way to get to the bottom of all of this, just as you do. But I have other partners out there who have stepped up, and you've probably noticed them in the last few days, if not the last few hours, and you're going to see more of that. I made a decision to contact our PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers from this entire valley. Pasquayaki Police Department, Tucson Police Department, Marana Police Department, Oro Valley Police Department, Pima College Police Department, Tucson International Police Department, Sarita Police Department. There's so many of them, and they are going to help us tremendously. And that's really done because we have so much in front of us still, and we're hoping that, I know the FBI has committed a very large number of men and women to partner with us, work side by side with us. We go do an interview, they're going to be there with us. We're going to go look at some evidence or process evidence, they're going to be right there with us. We're sharing every piece of information, all the data we can to get this thing solved. And it's important that my partners in law enforcement know and understand their roles, because it is very large, complex investigation with a lot of moving parts. And we're at that phase now where sometimes we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis. We're waiting for lab reports. But even then, when they come back quickly, for example, some DNA, we rushed what we thought was the best target for DNA. We did a rush through and got some of that back. The results were minimal. I think you all know of the blood on the porch. That was one we did. It came back to Nancy. That's what we know. But there's still more items that have been submitted. We just haven't got them back yet. But in the meantime, we're not just sitting on our haunches waiting. We do have a number of leads coming in, and that's why we brought in the FBI for one, but PCRIT as well, to be able to get out there and handle these leads as they come in as quickly and as expeditiously as we can. And every single lead is looked at, every one of them. And so we're gearing up. You probably have some questions about what you've seen in the last couple of days. I'll gladly answer those at that time. But it really is about getting our partners out there. To be fair, when we went to that scene the first night, Saturday night, it was just us. Since then, the FBI and others have asked, can we go and see it as well? And that's what you've been seeing. But it is a very important case to not just me and my team, but this entire community, all of our law enforcement partners. Suspects. I know there's been a lot out there about suspects, and I want to be very clear. At this time, We have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case. We are working our best to do that. But to be clear, we have nobody of interest or any suspects that you would consider a prime suspect. We're just not there. We're not there yet. The timeline, I think we've got it on the board, do we not? This is a timeline that we have been able to develop with some of the things that we've had processed. Various pieces of electronics that we've gathered. And you look at some of this, and I know you're going to say, well, why did it take you so long to get this to us, Sheriff? Well, because one thing, it's got to go out and be processed at different lab sites, and sometimes that stuff comes back to us, and like you, we have questions. And we say, wait a minute, what is this about? What about this? Could it be that? And so it's sent back, or it's sent somewhere else. So, and that's happening with all of the things we see, that process, that review, and that questioning of, all right, what is it we're looking at? So I'll go over it with you. You can see it on the board there, but at about 5:32 p.m., these are approximate times. 5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family, just visiting. At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home, and we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes. It is that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So it detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video. But we're not giving up on that. 2:28. Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see the scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, how come there's an ICAC member out here or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort. I think with that, let me make sure. Well, I want to clarify some things that I may have already done, but yeah, I've gone over with the blood at the front door, the doorbell camera. It was removed, we know that, but we're not confirming that any cameras were smashed or destroyed around the house. I don't know where that came from, but that's something we're not confirming. The car, the car that was at the home, it's just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant scene, court orders. We pull it out of there and do our scene processing with the vehicle. That was at the home. It's just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant scene, court orders. We pull it out of there and do our scene processing with the vehicle. Uber. We did speak to a driver because Nancy, we learned, had been taken the Uber to the family residence, the daughter, for dinner. and we located that driver and spoke with them and got that information. The house, you guys got this, I think, conducting follow-up. I think you said somebody had mentioned that they saw a team out there again last night or yesterday, and that's just, again, what I was talking about before. Our partners wanted a chance to see it and examine things themselves, and more importantly, it's just we're constantly following up on things and go, hey, what about this? So we want to go back and check on some things. Oh, here's the other thing. Someone had mentioned there was forced entry. I have no clue where that comes from. We have been very consistent. We are not discussing that at all. Whether it's forced entry or not forced entry, that is something we're just not discussing. So I don't know where anybody got that information. I think I am about done with my piece of this. I'm going to bring up here Heath Yankee, and I think you know him if you haven't been here. John Edwards is the assistant agent in charge with the FBI here at the Tucson office. Heath Yankee is the special agent in charge for the state of Arizona out of Phoenix, and he will come up and speak.
Thank you, Sheriff. Hello, I'm Heath Yankee, the Special Agent in charge of the FBI's Phoenix Division. First, I want to let the Guthrie family know that our hearts are heavy for them. After seeing your message last night, it is clear that you and your family are in pain. Please know that we are doing everything to bring your mother home. The FBI is now working this case jointly with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. And we're going to start today by announcing a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. And this will be the missing persons with the reward that will be going out. The FBI has agents, analysts, and professional staff employees working day and night with our partners at the Sheriff's Department. We have deployed additional intelligence and agents from our Phoenix office. We have brought in our critical incident response group from Quantico, Virginia. Members from our cellular analysis survey team are here, and they continue to collect and process digital information. We are actively reviewing and analyzing information from all digital sources, which includes banks, social media companies, phone companies, and any other organizations where a digital footprint could have been captured. All this information provides data points and helps put the picture together. And we will be in the community continuing to conduct a thorough investigation with our partners. You heard about us out there last night. We will be back out there today. I would ask the media, give our investigators the space to do their jobs while they're out there. Next, regarding the ransom letter. We are aware of a ransom letter that was sent to the local media and then to national outlets. As with every lead, we are taking it seriously. We are in communication with the family, and while we advise and recommend from a law enforcement perspective, any action taken on any ransom is ultimately decided by the family. Thank you to those in the community that have called in tips. For anyone out there that may have information, no matter how small you think it may be, please report it. You can do so by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI or online at tips.fbi.gov. My next message is to those imposters who are trying to take advantage and profit from this situation. We will investigate and ensure you are held accountable for your actions. We have made one arrest related to an imposter ransom demand, and a complaint will be presented to a magistrate judge later today. You will get more on that from the FBI and our U.S. Attorney's Office here in Arizona when it becomes available. To anyone that may be involved, do the right thing. This is an 84-year-old grandma. This is an 84-year-old grandma that needs vital medication for her well-being. You still have the time to do the right thing before this becomes a much worse scenario for you. Please return Nancy home. Thank you.
All right, so you want to call me?
You can call him up.
Okay, so the first person we're going to start with the list is going to be NBC National, Liz Prince.
Right here. Can you walk us through that timeline from when you believe, if you look at this here, from 147 to 228, what you think happened there, and what particular software would have detected somebody on camera?
I don't. I know we know the software that was there, but I'm not. Sorry, I'm just not in the weeds. I know that. Think of your doorbell cameras. Somebody walks up. My wife's. If I walk up, she gets an alert, and it's usually something like that. A person's detected.
So to understand then, one, does that mean that it was about a 45-minute span that this suspect or suspects would have been on the property? And then also, does this essentially mean that you've cooperated with the tech companies and you can officially say that no surveillance video is available from the home?
We know that the tech company that we sent that camera off to, yes, they've said they've run out of ways to recover any video.
Next person's going to be ABC News, Aaron Katersky.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What 45 minutes?
Can we say it's about a 45-minute span that somebody would have been on the property then, from 147 to 228?
Yeah, I think those times speak for themselves, and it is about, like I say, those are approximates. So yes. I'm sorry. Who was next? Did you say?
Aaron Katersky, ABC News.
Hi, Sheriff. Thanks very much. Is there information that you are purposefully withholding because of the active investigation that might be leading you in a particular direction?
You know, this is no different than any criminal investigation that we conduct here. Law enforcement has conducted investigations since 1865 here in Pima County. We're always mindful of what it is that's in front of us and what we should release and can release. There's legal guidelines that guide us, but there's also strategy too. So, I'll leave that for you to determine.
Now that you are having such an injection of manpower from the Pima Critical Incident Team and the FBI, we were slow to bring that in at the outset. Should all of these resources been brought to bear sooner?
I guess that, it's Monday morning quarterbacking. I do it all the time, so you have the opportunity to do it for me. I'll take that hit.
CBS News, Jonathan Migliotti.
Sheriff, over here, has there been any proof of life, and has there been any sign of life?
I'm going to, anything to deal with the ransom notes and that, I would defer to the FBI, but no, to my knowledge, we're still looking for Nancy.
And for my follow-up question, if I can speak with the special agent, what was it about this apparent ransom note that now 3 days on, you first haven't been able to validate, and second, it warranted informing the Guthries of its existence?
So the ransom note that was sent out there, obviously every lead in this case we are taking extremely serious.
But not everyone is presented to the family. Why this one?
Because this was the ransom that came in and it had facts associated with a deadline, with a monetary value they were asking for. So at that point...
What were some of those facts, if you can, because there's been a lot of speculation, as you know, if you could set the record straight.
Yeah, the ransom itself, one talked about an Apple Watch and one talked about a floodlight. We're not going to go into specifics. It's very important that we keep this investigation moving forward, and we don't want to put more facts out there that others then can use to try to profit from this.
Who else would know about an Apple Watch?
Ed Lavandera.
Hey, Agent, I want to follow up with you real quick on that. There have been, as far as we know, I think 3 ransom notes so far, 1 arrest. Are they all different? Or do you think there's different authors behind all of them? Or...
So the one that went to the media is the one we were currently investigating and working on. The imposter that I talked about, where an arrest was made early this morning, that there will be more information. We believe there's no evidence to connect this to Nancy's case. It was someone that was trying to profit from it, a total imposter.
And Sheriff, you started off the press conference by saying you believe that Nancy is still out there. Do you have reason to believe that she's still out there alive? Or are you fearful of the worst case scenario here, that she won't be found alive?
Well, I'm certainly fearful of that. I think we all are. But it is we operate from a position that until we know she's out there, she's alive, and we're going to continue thinking that way until we find her.
Fox Digital, Mike Reese.
Yeah, sir. Mike Reese from Fox Digital. Sheriff, you said you've identified no suspects. Have you ruled out anyone she was with on Saturday night?
You know, we've talked to so many. I'm sure that my investigators have feelings about this one's clear or this one isn't. But no, I wouldn't say anybody's ruled out yet, because what if I rule you out and then later I learn something else? No.
So my follow-up, you mentioned that you don't know where the reporting of a forced entry came from. Do we know how whoever did this got into her house?
That I would not discuss with you anyway.
Fox News, Paul Morrow.
Question for Agent Edwards, if I may. Agent Edwards, will Bureau be submitting the DNA for investigative genealogical investigation relative to maybe hitting a relative, somebody if you will?
I would say the DNA aspect of this case is being handled by the Pima County Sheriff's Department right now. However, should we get to that point, yes, that would be an option for the FBI to assist.
And a quick follow-up, does the ransom note that you're working establish any communication protocols in it?
No, it does not. And that is what I think is important, that if someone has Nancy and is demanding the ransom, that there is communication with the family. We talked about there has been no proof of life, and there was no other demands within that letter. So they're still waiting for communication.
ABC affiliates, Ashley Holden.
Right here, Ashley Holden. When you say the doorbell camera was disconnected, do you believe that camera was taken?
We do not have it in our possession. We've not located it.
And then a follow-up. I know that we've been hearing a lot about ransom notes. We were also hearing in that video that was put out by the Guthrie siblings, and I don't know if this is a question for the FBI or yourself, but the challenges of seeing an image and knowing that it's real. Could one of you address that? Has the family received correspondence, any images, videos?
So we're not going to go into facts regarding this part of the investigation. I think part of that message was, with AI these days, you can make videos that appear to be very real. So we can't just take a video and trust that that is a proof of life these days because of the advancements in AI and trying to actually get a proof of life that we can verify. But we're not going to go into anything the family may or may not have received.
KOLD, Catherine Patterson.
So in regards to a timeline on that ransom note, is that being an impact in your investigation? Are we nearing that timeline?
I'm sorry, one more time.
So in regards to the timeline in the ransom note, are we nearing that timeline? And is that playing a part in the investigation?
We're not going to go again into specifics of that part of the investigation with the ransom note other than what we've put out there. We've been transparent. We're talking about we are working that ransom demand, but we don't want to go anything further than that could impact any opportunities. So thank you.
Is there any additional physical evidence at the crime scene other than the technology that you guys are using for this timeline? Is there anything else that's helping you guys other than really the technology?
Well, I think I said on day one is that it's technology that's going to really help us solve this case. But no, I mean, you know, we did do a process of that scene for biological evidence, so we're still hopeful that maybe something will show up there as well.
Arizona Republic, Richard Relas.
For Agent Yankee?
Yes.
We saw on the scene, I believe it was you, taking a tripod to the home of the sister. How involved was the FBI, if at all, in creating the video? Any advice for the family?
I would say we use our expertise and provide consultation and advice anytime a family would ask for our advice in a kidnapping. It's ultimately the family's decision of what they put out and any messages they put out. But we were, obviously, you're all documented documenting every move we make. We were there last night and talking with the family, but every decision is theirs.
Right, that was a tripod and a ring light. And Sheriff Manos, you said the blood was found on the porch and on the front stoop. Just wanted to verify that.
I say porch, front stoop. It's all in that same general area by the front door.
Front of the house.
Front door, yes.
What, given her medical condition and the fact that it was her blood, as you say, what would her medical condition do with her recovery if she indeed bled out or was bleeding when she left the house?
Well, again, I've got to be careful for HIPAA, but I would say this. We know she is in need of medication, daily medication. And we also know that this is day 4 or 5, and still we don't know that she's getting her medication. That could in itself prove fatal.
And for the,
No, that'll be that question. For KGUN News, we have Craig Smith or Athena.
I'll get that for you. I'll do that.
Craig?
KGUN, Athena.
Okay.
Have you been in communication with anyone who you believe could be the kidnapper?
You know, it goes back to what we talked about. Nobody's eliminated, but we just really don't have enough to say, this is our suspect, this is our guy, we know, or our gal. We just don't know that. And it's really kind of reckless to report that someone is a suspect when
And for the last about 30 to 40 minutes, we've been listening in on the news conference from Pima County, Arizona. That's the sheriff you see speaking right now, just taking some reporter questions, some of the final ones. I just want to recap some of what we know before we head to a break. According to investigators, they do believe Nancy is still out there and they want her home. They did say that they have no suspects or person of interest at this point. That obviously is something that they are trying to figure out. They're trying to track them down. They also did release a timeline of some of the details and what happened. They know that on Saturday night she returned home at about 9:48 p.m. and then at 1:47 p.m., this is Arizona time, the doorbell camera disconnects, and then at about 2:12 p.m. something was pictured on camera, but they can't quite figure out what that is because there was no subscription paid for is how they did it. They also announced, as you can see on the bottom of your screen right now, it says a $50,000 reward. The FBI announced that today, that they are asking anyone who knows anything to give them a call. They have a tip line, and you could, if you help bring her home or help bring the person responsible to justice, you could be eligible for a $50,000 reward. And they are also saying that they are aware of ransom notes, a number of ransom notes, 2 or 3, and they said they have made 1 arrest so far for an imposter. They did not go into exact details about what charges that person's going to face, but obviously this is a big situation that a lot of people are keeping close tabs on. Nancy Guthrie is the 84-year-old mother of NBC Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. We're going to continue following this here on Fox Local, but for the time being, we're going to take a quick break, and the news at 1 continues after this. And welcome back to Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We're now talking football, Super Bowl specifically, since that's this weekend, and a lot of people are going to be eating and likely overeating. You know, all the fun flavors that you love to have on a football Sunday, especially on the Super Bowl. People have those big parties, and that means bigger portions, and for many fans, that unfortunately could mean bloating. Dr. Julie Gatza, co-founder of the Florida Wellness Institute and a health expert and wellness expert, is joining us now to talk about it. How can game day foods overwhelm the digestive system?
Well, think about the different types of foods that are brought to the table there. You've got high fat, high carbohydrates, lots of dairy, you've got sugars, tons of salt. So once you put all that into the digestive system at the same time, it basically needs to tap out. So you get symptoms like gas, bloating, acid reflux, constipation, diarrhea, GERD, burping. All these things simply mean whatever you just ate, you cannot break down. So you're not getting the nutrients from it, and you're loading your body up with toxins, and it's trying to relieve itself. So even though these are very common symptoms, they are not normal.
Dr. Julie, what are some of the biggest mistakes that people make on a Super Bowl Sunday or any big event type of day where they're going to be constantly eating throughout the game while they're watching the commercials, watching the actual fun that's happening on the field?
The biggest mistakes is not going fed. If you went just a little fed, you're going to at least be in a better position to not sit and eat half a bowl of chips. The other thing that should be done is head for the protein first. The steak, the hamburgers, the hot dogs, whatever it may be, go eat that first. Let your digestive system recognize what that is, break it down, and get the nutrition from it. Next, go for vegetables if there's any there, and then you can eat the carbohydrates. But if you do that in that order, you won't be eating carbohydrates and all the heavy fatty foods to begin and overload your system. Plus you'll be less hungry.
You said vegetables, but on Super Bowl Sunday, who wants vegetables? You want the wings, you want the fries, you want the dips and the chips. I mean, it's obviously going to be hard to be able to kind of sequence what you're eating to try to obviously stay okay.
It is, which is why go fed, eat the protein first, and then take small bits of everything. If you want to taste it all, fine, take it small bits, but keep in mind we're almost always having alcohol on top of that. So if you're going to have alcohol, then try to switch to drinking a water in between. So if it's a beer, then have a water. If it's a glass of wine, then have a water. And at least give your digestive system a chance to recognize and produce digestive enzymes to help you break it down. We generally don't produce enough enzymes. So one of the things that I've had patients do for all the years I've been in practice is take high quality digestive enzymes. The one I use is called Absorbade, but it breaks down the foods, whether you're eating good or you're eating poorly. It will even break down the not so great food for you and help to get rid of the toxins in the body as well.
Yeah, who can benefit from maybe like digestive enzyme support? Obviously, if we can't have enough of it on that type of day, who can benefit from something like that?
Absolutely everybody. If you're a great eater, you benefit because you get more bang for your buck as far as nutrients broken down and put into the bloodstream for your body. If you're not a great eater, it does help to process and push the toxins out. Babies, many of my patients, dogs, take the digestive enzyme, the Absorbade. Elderly, you really can't. I think it's more important than taking a multivitamin, I'll go so far as to say, because it's helping you break down the meal in front of you and get the nutrition from the actual meal.
Well, so if people are listening right now, what's the one quick thing that they can do, or a few quick things they can do to be prepared for Super Bowl Sunday so they can set themselves up for success?
Drink a lot of water that day. Make sure that you eat breakfast and lunch so that you're not starving by the time that you get there. And just take small portions. Don't eat too fast. Take your time. There's plenty of food. I know there's dessert waiting in the corners. Put a napkin over it. Hide it. Eat it an hour later or so. Just don't overwhelm your system, because within an hour you're just going to feel junky. Wish you weren't there. Your button's undone. Your belt is undone, and you're not feeling your best at this point. So if you put a few points in mind, if you have any Absorbate, any heavy duty digestive enzymes, heck, take them. They'll help the body.
Dr. Gatza, thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. A lot of good advice there. I know I'm definitely guilty of overeating and definitely eating a lot of the stuff that you probably shouldn't all be eating at once on Super Bowl Sunday, because that's how you enjoy the game and enjoy the fun.
It's true, and if anyone's interested in experiencing the Absorbe, you can go to the website and they give you some free enzymes if you sign up, which is naturessources.com. You can learn all about it, and it's a great company that really does a bang-up job.
Dr. Gatza, thank you so much for joining us here today. We appreciate it. And obviously Super Bowl is this Sunday, as we're going to obviously have a great matchup on the field, but we're also expecting a nice halftime show, and Bad Bunny is going to be is talking right now about what he's planning to obviously about the performance. Are we going to listen in? Let's listen in.
That we weren't really prepared to ask.
We ask it every year, though.
We ask it every year, to be fair. So
I'm just trying to say all the English words that I know.
We appreciate it.
That's what I'm doing here.
Listen, you got prepared for this moment. Say them all.
Let's see if you have the words for this question. You know, 6 years ago, you were a guest on that stage, and it comes up every single year. I'm just going to ask it. Are there surprises on Sunday? Are you preparing to bring any? Are you going to do the same thing? Will you have guests on stage this Sunday?
Well, you know, that's something that I'm going to tell you. I don't know why you asked that.
We had to, man. We had to.
No. Well, of course, I think I have a lot of guests. It's going to be my family, my friends, or all the Latino community around the world that support me and believe in me. And the whole country. There's a lot of people that love me around the world. Not even the not just the Latino. You just said that I'm number one in China, right?
Yes.
So Chinese people love me also. So I'm very. There's a lot of people that stop me at the street or the airport. People from the Americans, from the United States, from Mexico, French. And say like, I know you're gonna do a great performance at the Super Bowl. Good luck. God bless you. I feel great. Everyone who stopped me at the street or wherever I go, they only wish like good things on me, and I know that the world is gonna be happy at this Sunday, and they're gonna have fun, and they're gonna dance, and they're gonna have a good time.
He didn't say no, by the way. He did not say no.
That was a beautiful answer.
It was a great answer, but just
Beautiful
for the record,
answer.
he did not say no. So as we prepare for this Sunday, I was able to go to Puerto Rico and see a residency on what we're going to see, though, the aesthetic, what we should be expecting to see, and what do you want us to look for on Sunday? What are, beyond the party, beyond the dancing and all of the culture, is there something that we should be paying attention to in this performance?
I really, as I said, I just want people to have fun. There's gonna be, it's gonna be a huge party.
And that was Bad Bunny. He is continuing to talk to the media and reporters as we get closer and closer to Super Bowl Sunday. It's going to be a fantastic game on the field, but also the halftime show is always a big deal, along with the commercials. And so we just wanted to bring you a small portion of what was going on there as he's talking about, obviously, the excitement level for what is to come. And so, again, Super Bowl Sunday this weekend. And coming up here on Fox 5 News Live at 2 o'clock, we are going to be updating you on Nancy Guthrie, the search for her. She's been missing since the weekend, and obviously we just had that news conference just held. Ariel Onstadt's going to be updating you on that, along with all the local stories you need to hear about. That is coming your way in just 2 minutes. Thanks so much for streaming along with me here at 1 o'clock on Fox 5 News Live. I'm Tyler Fingert. I'll be back tomorrow. Make it a great rest of your day, and Ariel Onstadt will join you in just 2 minutes.
Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thanks so much for being here live with us at 2 o'clock. It is great to see you. We've got a lot of things to cover today. We're going to talk about the latest in the search for Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mother, and we're going to talk a little bit more as well about what is happening in our community regarding the latest with a deadly fire that claimed the lives of 4 family members. Allie Levine is going to join us and speak about that. But first, I'd like to talk about the latest in the search efforts for rapper Lil Jon's son, known as DJ Young Slade. That's his stage moniker, and our Tara Jabor joins us live now. Tara, I understand the community there in Milton is really concerned about him, and they're actively still looking for him.
Ariel, that's right. Law enforcement behind me. They're looking for Nathan Smith. He goes by DJ Young Slade. Let me step out of the way to show you exactly what we're seeing. We're, of course, here in Milton near Baldwin Drive, and this is the area where he was last seen on Tuesday morning at around 6 in the morning. Now, police say that DJ Young Slade is 5'9" and that he weighs about 150 pounds. As you can see, there is a lot of different law enforcement agencies here. We've seen the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. We've, of course, seen Milton Police. You're looking at a canine search team here in this white vehicle. We've seen about 4 different canines go around this park. This is Mayfield Park. It's in front of the neighborhood where he was last seen. Now, police say that Nathan Smith ran out of the house and he's been missing since. That was Tuesday at 6 a.m. They say that he may be disoriented and in need of assistance. Now, police also say that family and friends are concerned for his safety and that any information may be an asset. They are asking anyone with information to call Milton Police. We can put that number here on the bottom for you all. Now, I want to take a look over here. You can see there is some law enforcement on this little porch almost over this lake, and they've been over there for the past 30 minutes. They seem to be looking at something in this brick wall underneath of that porch. Of course, we don't know exactly what they're doing over there, but they've been there. And in the last hour, we've seen a lot of law enforcement come and go. One of the things that stuck out is just how many canines are here, and they have been walking throughout this neighborhood and also near this lake. And then we just saw another law enforcement vehicle with a canine pull up. So there's a lot of police here. Of course, the biggest thing that we're hearing from police is that anyone with information should contact Milton Police. They say that any even small bit of information could help. And Ariel, I did walk around. I was talking to a neighbor here. She told me she just feels so terrible of what's happening, and she wants, people to do what they can to help, but she didn't want to go on camera. A lot of people have told me they want to respect the family, and that's why they don't want to speak for them.
Tara, it's wonderful that the community is showing up for them, and I can completely understand the necessity to try to protect the family and not speak for them. At this point, I know they're looking at any leads, and part of the concern here is that they think he could have been disoriented when he left the home, and so that's underscoring their search, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And, now that it's Thursday at 2 o'clock, he's been missing since Tuesday at 6 a.m. So we're over the 48-hour mark, and all of these law enforcement people obviously are working, I'm sure, day and night to try to find him.
Well, Tara, thank you so much for keeping us updated. I'm going to let you get back to information gathering. I know you'll keep us apprised of any new developments. Thanks so much for joining us live here. Guys, I'd like to continue on with some other stories that have your attention. And one of them deals with a massive fuel spill from Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport into the Flint River. 10,000 gallons of jet fuel, to be exact, spilled into the Flint River, and the environmental crisis was triggered by a faulty fuel valve north of Terminal T last Friday. The EPA has successfully removed about 80% of the spilled fuel, but local residents there in Griffin have complained about a lingering odor in their drinking water, despite official reports that that water has tested safe. So you can imagine people are concerned. Again, Jet A fuel, about 10,000 gallons of it spilled from a faulty pit hydrant. And the EPA says that they're going to continue to monitor the situation. 80% of that fuel they believe they've been able to remove, but we'll continue to keep you updated as this continues, because the Flint River is used for drinking water, and because some people are still saying they're experiencing this, it's definitely something we're going to monitor. Something else I want to let you know about is Atlanta's mayor. He is actually trying to work with a new piece of legislation to better Atlanta's neighborhoods. Mayor Andre Dickens has issued an order to advance neighborhood reinvestment. Specifically, he wants to bridge gaps in resources in order to build more connected local districts here in Atlanta. They're going to try to prioritize transforming abandoned and vacant lots into functional assets for our community. And you can imagine a lot of this is really before Atlanta's gets ready to host the World Cup. They want to make sure that Atlanta looks like a city that is ready for prime time, if you will. And a new transparency mandate requires the chief of staff here for Atlanta to submit a roadmap for strengthening executive order operations. So this is all something we're going to continue to follow here in our city. A final headline I want to get to you here real quick involves a new face in Georgia's governor's race. He's a healthcare executive, Rick Jackson, and he's leveraging a $50 million self-funded campaign to challenge GOP leaders for the governor's seat. His bid focuses on aggressive tax cuts, property tax freezes, and the removal of, quote, woke ideology from Georgia's education system. The four-way Republican contest significantly increases the probability of a summer runoff if no candidate captures more than 50% of the vote in May. So as we gear up for the midterms, this is something we're going to continue to follow. I want to let you know about a tragic story we have been following here in the Fox 5 newsroom, and it actually involves 4 family members who were killed in a house fire in DeKalb County overnight. Our Allie Levine has been following up on the latest with this story, and she joins us live. Allie, I can't even imagine. My heart goes out to the family, and for so many of you who are also streaming live with us on TikTok, YouTube, I see similar comments of just concern. What are you learning right now, Allie?
Ariel, I got to tell you this is a really tough one. 4 members of one family died in this fire overnight here on Winthrop Drive. Just to give you a little bit of context, we're out here off of the Glenwood Ave exit off I-20, really, really close to the highway. And you might be able to see over my shoulder what is left of this home, this multi-generational home here. Let me step out this way so you can get a better look as my photographer here, Michael Moore, zooms in. You can see the charred remains. Now, this home was a multi-generational home. And inside, not only the 4 family members who sadly lost their lives last night, but also 5 children and their mother and father. Now, another family member who was not inside of this home last night that I spoke with earlier told me that those 5 children and the mother and father got out safely from those flames. Now, the others, the 4 adults inside, sadly did succumb to the smoke and the fire itself. DeKalb Fire Rescue worked so hard through the night to try to find those individuals. They knew when they arrived that there was possible entrapment inside. Obviously, that changes how they fight a fire like this. They were also battling windy conditions, which impacts decisions that they have to make. Now, as I said, I spoke to one family member off camera who just told me that today this large family is pulling together to mourn those lost and also pull resources for those 5 children who lost everything inside. Imagine all of their winter coats, toys, necessary tools that children just need on a daily basis. So the family is focusing on that today. I also spoke with a neighbor on camera. We're going to hear from her in just a minute. Gladys Kinchin. Now, she has lived next door to this home for 30 years. She moved in December 1994. She says a year or two later, this family, who still lives in this home today, moved in next door to her. They were close. She was friends with them. Her son was friends with one of the men who died overnight. And just let's listen to what she has to say about this tragedy.
Children in the house got out. Their mother and father got out. I was told that Junior came out, but he went back in to see if he can help some of them out, and he never came back out. Oh my gosh. It's horrible. It's just horrible. I have sympathy for the family. They have my empathy. I've known them a long time.
It's truly heartbreaking. Again, thank goodness the children got out, and it sounds like you kind of helped out. What'd you do with the blanket off your own bed?
Well, the children, they came out with nothing on, no coats or anything like that. And my neighbor, Barbara, put them in her car. And she asked me, did I have an extra blanket? So I went and pulled the blanket off my bed and brought it out for them. And then later, the paramedics, they came out and they put them in their vehicle, so they can stay warm.
Pulling the blanket from her own bed to help those children. It's just the kind of community that we have seen here after this fire, everyone pulling together. I just also want to note how difficult a scene like this is for the first responders who were trying to save those inside. The interim fire chief from DeKalb Fire Rescue last night told our Fox 5 crew that they had a team on scene to assist firefighters if they needed any support just mentally, because again, just how difficult it is. We have to remember they're people too, doing their jobs, trying to help us, but they see things many of us won't ever have to see, hopefully won't ever have to see. It's just a really, really difficult story to have to cover, Ariel.
Allie, I mean, looking at that house behind you, an image is worth 1,000 words, and I just cannot convey the devastation I feel for that family and the first responders who, despite all of their best efforts, this was the outcome no one wanted. I am glad that some family members did make it out safely. That is some good news that's important to highlight. I'm curious, you know, if you've heard of any vigils or memorials or ways the community can support yet. Has any of that information trickled to you yet?
That's a great question. So at this point, we haven't heard of any visuals. I'm in contact with the family. The one woman, again, who I spoke with earlier today off camera, she told me that they're trying to put together a GoFundMe right now. Again, just because those children, the remaining family members, they lost everything. They truly don't even have clothes to put on their backs. She was running around trying to figure out what sizes she needed to gather for those small children. Anyone out there with small children knows it's tricky, it's difficult. You accumulate all these things, they need layers in the winter, et cetera, et cetera. So as soon as we do have information about a GoFundMe, we will certainly add that to our website. And I know this community will step up to help, because this family has a long road ahead, Ariel.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Allie. I know our community is going to show up and show out. Final question for you here as it comes to my mind, and you may have mentioned, but I just want to make sure I understand. So have firefighters said anything about how this might have started?
No, thank you. Great point. So just minutes ago, actually, the investigators were out here sifting through what's left of this home. We don't have a cause just yet, but just like with the GoFundMe, as soon as we have that information, we will bring it to you. You know, it's been cold lately. We don't want to speculate about any sort of cause. We do know that, again, this family had lived here for decades. And just one more note, the woman, the family member who I spoke with, who's trying to get those kids clothed and everything, she herself actually lived in this home. She grew up here. She lost, 4 family members herself, and she also lost a home full of memories. I asked her if they had any photos that they could share with us so that we could share them on air and online, and she said they were all inside.
Yeah.
So not only have they lost belongings, family members, loved ones, they've also lost a lot of memories, which is heartbreaking on a whole other level.
Allie, yeah, absolutely devastating. I am looking forward to when there's resources provided so we know how we can help this family. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us live, your sensitivity with the story. I know it's not easy to discuss, so thanks so much for being with us. Allie Levine reporting, guys. And as we continue, I want to keep you updated on some other stories that we're following. Right now, we are waiting for President Trump Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, to come up to the podium at the White House and brief us. We know that the White House press briefing was scheduled to start at 2 o'clock. It is nearly 20 minutes after, and so at this point, probably any minute now. There she is. So as she steps up to the podium there, let's listen in live as Caroline Leavitt briefs members of the media.
Today. Thank you all so much for showing up and for joining. I apologize for the delay. The president and I were watching the press conference about the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother, which is just a heartbreaking situation. The president, as you all know, spoke directly with Savannah yesterday and told her that the federal government is here to help. Any requests that are made by state and local officials in the search of Miss Guthrie will absolutely be accommodated. I spoke with the FBI directly about that today as well, and our hearts and our prayers are with Savannah and her entire family as they search for her dear mother. I also have a quick scheduling announcement for all of you. Tonight at 7 p.m. during prime time, President Trump, Dr. Oz, and National Design Studio Director Joe Gebbia will officially unveil Trump RX, a state-of-the-art website for American consumers to purchase low-cost prescription drugs. This historic announcement will save millions of Americans their hard-earned money. So make sure to tune in tonight, and we will see all of you in the news media there. President Trump promised to restore law and order to the United States of America, and newly released data proves he is delivering overwhelmingly on this promise. A study from the Council on Criminal Justice shows that the murder rate across America's largest cities plummeted in 2025 to its lowest level since at least 1900. Again, let me repeat, to put this in perspective, this marks the largest single-year drop in murders in recorded history. This dramatic decline is what happens when a president secures the border, fully mobilizes federal law enforcement to arrest violent criminals, and aggressively deports the worst of the worst illegal aliens from our country. The numbers don't lie. Under President Trump in 2025, the FBI increased violent crime arrests by 100% compared to the prior year. The FBI also conducted more than 67,000 arrests from Inauguration Day 2025 to January 20th, 2026, which is 197% more arrests than the same period previously. The FBI also disrupted 1,800 gangs and criminal enterprises, a 210% increase from the year prior. The FBI has arrested 1,700 child predators and more than 300 human traffickers across the country. Since President Trump took office, 6 of the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives have been captured. Right here in our nation's capital, where you all live, so you know it well, whether you choose to report it or not, the president's efforts to make D.C. safe and beautiful have worked. As of last week, D.C. homicides were down 62%, motor vehicle theft down 53%, and 2025 had the fewest violent gun crimes of any year of available data in our nation's capital. For more proof that these tough on crime efforts are working, look at the president's Make Memphis Safe Again campaign. As of last week, there have been nearly 5,600 arrests made, and aggravated assaults are down 53%. Sexual assaults are down 53%, and robberies are down 70%. Again, that's just in the city of Memphis. 5,600 arrests have taken place because of this president and his Homeland Security Task Force that has surged into Memphis at the request of both the governor and the mayor in that city. A Democrat mayor, I will add. These are the results that can happen when Democrats and Republicans, when the federal government and state and local officials work together. And that's what Trump wants to see to improve public safety across our country. When you have a leader like President Trump who empowers
White House
good cops,
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt briefs members of the press and media. She's speaking a little bit about an announcement the president's going to make later this evening about drug prices and also about the state of crime here in the United States, saying that crime numbers are down, and she attributes this largely to the fact that she says the Trump administration has secured the southern border. This is something we're going to continue to monitor, but I do want to continue on with some other news as our 2 o'clock hour progresses, because one thing happening here to keep your eye on for this weekend is that United States negotiators are still on schedule to sit down with Iranian officials tomorrow. They're going to discuss a range of issues, including ending Iran's nuclear program. Meanwhile, the last remaining nuclear arms treaty between the United States and Russia expires today, and some are afraid, some analysts who monitor this sort of thing are afraid this could kick off a new nuclear arms race. So ahead of Friday's talks between the U.S. and Iran, President Trump has continued to warn Iran's supreme leader that they should not continue to build up their nuclear arsenal. The talks were on the verge of collapse, but multiple Middle East leaders urged the United States to get them back on track. They come nearly 8 months after the United States bombed Iran's nuclear sites and just weeks after Iranian authorities killed thousands of anti-government protesters there in Iran. Some Democrats say the White House needs a more focused plan to deal with Iran. But meanwhile, this is something that we're continuing to follow, because when you look at the situation globally, not just with Iran, but with Russia, the White House is continuing to look at what is next with Russia, because another nuclear pact has collapsed. The START Treaty, you might be familiar with it from the Cold War days. Well, it capped the number of nuclear warheads the United States and Russia could deploy at any given time, and that treaty expires today. So if the two sides don't renew this agreement, this could be a sign of an arms race that could come. It's something that we're going to follow. In the meantime, the United States does want China to be a part of any arms limitation treaty. The Pentagon is reporting that China could triple its nuclear arsenal by 2025. No doubt this is something we're going to continue to monitor. But coming up, we're going to check in with meteorologist Jonathan Stacy on the latest about your weather forecast right here at home. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Ariel Onstad here with my good friend, meteorologist Jonathan Stacy. Jonathan, I'm told that weather is mild and not the chaos that we've been seeing as of late.
It's not chaotic, but it's not cute yet.
Okay.
We're still trying to warm things up, and it's going to take us a while to get there. We're going to kind of trip and fall over the next couple of days, and then we're going to rise, and the numbers are going to rise as we press the gas and the mercury. And here now, gets its temperatures, and either side of the 40-degree mark. We're right smack dab on the 40 here in Atlanta. 43 in Rome, 45 Eatonton. Still some communities in the 20s. Blairsville, 29 degrees, but it's a wind chill that is the factor of the day. Feels like 33 in Covington, feeling like 37 in Noonan, 36 here in Atlanta. Those feels like numbers are going to stay in the mid to upper 30s for the remainder of the afternoon. Getting into the overnight hours, they'll fall back down into the 20s as temperatures drift through the 40s into the 30s and eventually into the 20s as well. Here's a look at Fox 5 live Viper radar, and you can see here the coast is clear. That front that provided us with some rain yesterday and then wrapping around that low, there was still some moisture, and we managed to crank out a few flurries this morning as that cold air came in contact with moisture. That said, the flurry activity is all gone. We're going to keep things calm over the next 24 hours, but there's a front that's going to move through tomorrow. It looks like a trough. That's that brown dashed line there, meaning just a weather disturbance. But it turns into a full-out cold front, and that opens up the door for another round of polar air to move in. Okay, will there be a flake or two flying Saturday morning? I could see it, especially for our border counties of North Carolina and Tennessee. Overall, things are going to get warmer, but first they will get colder before they get warmer. Tomorrow we'll get a sample of the warmer days that are to come with a high temperature of 58 degrees. That after we come up from a low temperature of 32. But it's Saturday that's kind of the blip in the forecast. That front that I just showed you, it moves through the area, and it really does a doozy on the temperatures for Saturday, Ariel. We only make it to 48 degrees, and then we bounce back after a very chilly start to Sunday morning. 27 degrees here in town, 56 by the afternoon, and then, baby, I am so upset that I'm going to be out of town next week because I would not want to miss this for the world. This is the payback that we all so greatly deserve after everything that we've been through over the past 3 weeks. Monday, 64 degrees. Tuesday, somebody's going to say 70, and I think we'll do it again on Wednesday. Thursday, still fairly warm as well, with temperatures riding some 5 to 10 degrees above average as we get into the next week of February.
Jonathan, looking at this, I feel like we deserve this weekend. After everything we've been through, I just feel like I know it's not going to be like a summertime 60, springtime 60-degree situation.
It's going to feel like it to us.
Will it?
Yeah.
Oh, after everything we've been through.
Yeah.
I mean, when it was, 48 the other day, I was in shorts, and I was like, who am I? After being
you were
in
shorts at 48?
I was. Isn't that crazy? I know. I feel like that person, there's always the guy in shorts no matter how cold it gets. I did feel a bit like that. But no, I just think that when it's kind of relative when you're so used to frigid temperatures, any improvement makes you feel like things are better.
I just haven't heard 40 degrees in shorts yet. I just haven't heard that before, Ariel.
I could be wrong. So it could have been in the 50s.
What are you going to be wearing when it's 16?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Answers my question. Make sure you stay inside the house with your
Jonathan, stirring the pot, getting ready for our weather forecast this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Indeed.
And we're going to stay tuned. Oh, very briefly before I let you go, I did see some people talking about a, quote, bomb cyclone today and like snow and stuff. Is that crazy? Were people making that up, like in the Atlanta area? I'm just throwing you on the spot.
That's made up.
Okay, cool.
As we scan the skies, there are no areas of low pressure.
I thought so too. I was like, you didn't say anything about this.
Chatterbox, I don't know where they're going with that. Let me show the picture. Oh, they're talking about something. Yeah, there is. There's talk about some a big downturn in the temperatures next week, and that will be alongside a big time, possibly 12th, 13th, or 14th day of February, which would mean Valentine's Day as you get into the latter part of next week, creating some hazardous weather across the eastern United States. We'll wait till that gets here. That's where you heard
Carol says, excuse me, Jonathan, but yesterday I had shorts. Carol, thank you. See, I mean, it kind of felt warm enough to have shorts.
Really?
Yeah, Carol's on my side. So yeah, you know, it's kind of one of those things that I think it's relative, and if you're comfortable, you know, you can wear accordingly. So.
Well, around my house, I'm wearing sweats.
This is fair.
As long as it's below 60 degrees.
I mean, listen.
Shorts, I make it pull them out at 55 degrees.
Okay.
Ooh, but I'll have to run fast outside.
You would. All right, Jonathan, thank you. Appreciate you as always. Guys, you can see it's Thursday. We're trending towards Friday. We're ready. But in the meantime, as we get ready for the weekend, let me tell you about a story that involves parents and their push to try to keep kids safe online. So at this point, parents really want to make sure that big tech is being held accountable. And as we take a look at this, they're working with lawmakers on Capitol Hill to try to make sure that this gets done. A group of bipartisan senators are now calling for a 30-year-old law to be repealed over concerns it's allowing children to be harmed by social media. Now, critics of the effort say it could harm free speech. So let's get into it, because parents who've lost children to suicide or fentanyl poisoning are taking on big tech and calling on reforms to Section 230. This is a 30-year-old law that protects companies from being held legally responsible for user-generated content on their platforms. Last year, bipartisan senators introduced legislation to repeal Section 230. They argued that tech companies have abused the law by allowing information on their platforms that's dangerous to children. But supporters argues that this protects smaller tech companies, and they warn a repeal could force social media platforms to moderate content more aggressively. It comes as Meta's Instagram and Google's YouTube remain defendants in a landmark case that accuses them of intentionally designing apps to hook younger users. An attorney coordinating the litigation tells Fox Business they bypassed Section 230 by focusing on the design of social media platforms and not the content posted to them. This is the first in a series of lawsuits this year against the companies, which also includes TikTok and Snapchat. So this is something that we're going to continue to keep you guys updated on. I also want to get you an update a little closer here to home on the latest with the Tara Baker trial that is unfolding in an Athens courtroom. Despite multiple requests for a mistrial, this trial is continuing. And at this point, I want to catch you up to speed with where we stand in testimony today and yesterday, because yesterday we heard from a fire expert that testified the 2001 fire that was started in Tara Baker's apartment was arson, and it originated on her mattress. Tara Baker, the UGA law student, was killed in 2001, and as of today, we're on day 4 of this trial against Edric Faust, the man accused of killing her by prosecutors. And at this point, 2 witnesses described a man in orange seen near the scene 25 years ago. The defense, though, is challenging the reliability of these decades-old memories, because this was a cold case for a while, and they want to make sure, or they've at least questioned whether or not people can reliably recall things so far now into the future. A defense attorney, Ahmad Cruz, and Judge Lisa Lott also have continued to clash in the courtroom. Cruz, the defense attorney, actually compared the Athens courtroom to communist Russia after the judge denied a line of questioning for him. So this is something we're going to continue to monitor. The trial is unfolding still this afternoon, and we'll keep you updated should anything else develop. But in the meantime, a story that's captivated the nation involves the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. She's the mother of NBC News anchor Savannah Guthrie, and you can see video of a heartfelt and emotional plea that Savannah and her siblings posted to social media, trying to reason with an unknown person that is believed to have taken their mother. We're going to discuss the latest from a news conference that the sheriff there in Arizona just held, coming up next. Man, people be... Well, welcome back in, you guys. I'm Ariel Onstadt. It's great to have you here streaming with us live. And at this point, it has been 5 days since Savannah Guthrie's mother went missing, and police are continuing their search. They just wrapped up a news conference roughly an hour ago, and at this point, they do not have any suspect or person of interest identified in this case. They do believe Nancy Guthrie was abducted from her home there in Pima County, Arizona over the weekend. She'd gone to dinner with some friends, and in this news conference, the sheriff, Chris Nanos, actually clarified the timeline a bit and gave us some more details as to when she actually went missing. At this point as well, they say that the Guthrie family is going to decide how to handle the ransom and how to respond to that. There was an emotional video that Savannah Guthrie and her two siblings posted to social media, and they are pleading with the proposed captors or potential captors of their mother for proof of life. They want to understand that their mother is alive and doing well before they were to send any money, because at this point they want to make sure, with AI and deepfakes and all the technology now that exists, that their mother is indeed still living. Keep in mind as well, the 84-year-old was dropped off at her home after a dinner Saturday with family, and I'd like to let you listen in to what we learned from the sheriff today. Again, keep in mind, there's not really a lot of new information in terms of anybody who they believe to be responsible, but he does clarify details surrounding this strange case.
Saw last night the family, you know, they just hurt, understandably so. And so I really want you to know this entire team here, those behind me, and our community are hurting with you. We really just want Mom back, okay? Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home. Our department, the Sheriff's Department, along with all of our partners at the FBI, have been working around the clock. And we just want her home and find a way to get to the bottom of all of this, just as you do. But I have other partners out there who have stepped up, and you've probably noticed them in the last few days, if not the last few hours, and you're going to see more of that. Well, I've made a decision to contact our PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers from this entire valley. Pasquayaki Police Department, Tucson Police Department, Marana Police Department, Oro Valley Police Department, Pima College Police Department, Tucson International Police Department, Sarita Police Department. There's so many of them, and they are going to help us tremendously. And that's really done because we have so much in front of us still, and we're hoping that, you know, I know the FBI has committed a very large number of men and women to partner with us, work side by side with us. We go do an interview, they're going to be there with us. We're going to go look at some evidence or process evidence, they're going to be right there with us. We're sharing every piece of information, all the data we can to get this thing solved. And it's important that my partners in law enforcement know and understand their roles, because it is very large, complex investigation with a lot of moving parts. And we're at that phase now where sometimes we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis. We're waiting for lab reports. But even then, when they come back quickly, for example, some DNA, we rushed what we thought was the best target for DNA. We did a rush through and got some of that back. The results were minimal. I think you all know of the blood on the porch. That was one we did. It came back to Nancy. That's what we know. But there's still more items that have been submitted. We just haven't got them back yet. But in the meantime, we're not just sitting on our haunches waiting. We do have a number of leads coming in, and that's why we brought in the FBI for one, but PCRIT as well, to be able to get out there and handle these leads as they come in as quickly and as expeditiously as we can. And every single lead is looked at, every one of them. And so we're gearing up. You probably have some questions about what you've seen in the last couple of days. I'll gladly answer those at that time. But it really is about getting our partners out there. To be fair, when we went to that scene the first night, Saturday night, it was just us. Since then, the FBI and others have asked, can we go and see it as well? And that's what you've been seeing. But it is a very important case to not just me and my team, but this entire community, all of our law enforcement partners. Suspects. I know there's been a lot out there about suspects, and I want to be very clear. At this time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case. We are working our best to do that. But to be clear, we have nobody of interest or any suspects that you would consider a prime suspect. We're just not there. We're not there yet. The timeline, I think we've got it on the board, do we not? This is a timeline that we have been able to develop with some of the things that we've had processed. Various pieces of electronics that we've gathered. And you look at some of this, and I know you're going to say, well, why did it take you so long to get this to us, Sheriff? Well, because one thing, it's got to go out and be processed at different lab sites, and sometimes that stuff comes back to us, and like you, we have questions, and we say, wait a minute, what is this about? What about this? Could it be that? And so it's sent back, or it's sent somewhere else. So, and that's happening with all of the things we see, that process, that review, and that questioning of, all right, what is it we're looking at? So I'll go over it with you. You can see it on the board there, but at about 5:32 p.m., these are approximate times. 5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family, just visiting. At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home, and we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes, which is that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So it detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video. But we're not giving up on that. 2:28. Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see the scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, how come there's an ICAC member out here or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort.
Okay, you are listening in as Sheriff Chris Nanos there in Pima County, Arizona, updated members of the media about the latest efforts to try to find Nancy Guthrie. We'll continue to keep you updated as soon as we learn any new information. Again, he was providing some further detail regarding the timeline of her disappearance. And he also said despite numerous rumors, they have not identified a person of interest or suspect in this case. And further, the Guthrie family is going to determine if they want to respond to the ransom note note and how to do that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to they want to make sure that Nancy Guthrie is still alive and that she is well and safe. So that's something we're going to continue to monitor. Coming up, I want to continue to keep you updated on some efforts here closer to home to celebrate a local icon. Atlanta Technical College is working to celebrate Hank Aaron, and our Chris Rosenthal is going to show us how they wanted to do this coming up next. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here. Atlanta Technical College is working to celebrate the life and legacy of baseball legend Hank Aaron, and he was really involved with Atlanta Technical College and helped provide funding for scholarships. So Chris Rosenthal is going to show us the efforts from the college to pay tribute to him.
Well, I'm at Atlanta Technical College, where this morning there was a legacy celebration for Hank Aaron. Of course, the legendary baseball player. We all know him for his home run record and playing for the Atlanta Braves. He was also very heavily involved with Atlanta Technical College. He was on the board here, and his foundation has donated over the years for many scholarships here. This helped out many students. So every year on his birthday, which today, February 5th, is his birthday, they hold a legacy celebration in his honor. And I spoke a little earlier today with Dr. Victoria Seals just about that legacy.
Mr. Aaron was an amazing supporter of the college. He actually began as the first board of directors in 1997 with the college, and then later on he helped start the Atlanta Technical College Foundation. So through his support, we had the first BMW technician training program as part of our automotive, and ongoing it's just been amazing scholarship support for our students. And so through the Chasing the Dream Foundation, we have 10 endowed scholarships, as well as Mrs. Billy Aaron started a New Beginnings scholarship to help support those students who leave the New Beginnings Academy and matriculate here at Atlanta Technical College. And so we overall have about 10 to 12 scholarships that the Aaron family continue to support here at Atlanta Technical College.
Yeah, we got to hear from some of those students today, and some some of their stories, but just about what these scholarships really mean to them. It's pretty special for them too, huh?
Indeed. I mean, for a lot of our students, it's a little bit of money, anywhere from $500 to $1,000, can mean the difference between them being able to finish their programs or having to stop out. So the scholarship support that they get is truly life-changing and generational changing, and so it really helps them to stay on track and get on their pathway to economic mobility. So Mr. Aaron, as you said, was an amazing baseball player, but he was also a great businessman, as well as a philanthropy was very important to him. And so we're just honored here at the college to be part of his legacy, and every year to help celebrate him and his family and their connection with the college.
And one of the other highlights of today's celebration is getting a look at the renovation renderings for the Hank Aaron Academic Complex. This building was named after him several years ago, but it was built in the 60s, and they will be renovating it starting in May and expect to be done by summer of 2027. Back to you.
Awesome. Well, Chris Rosenthal, thanks so much for showing us that effort. And other happy news, I'd like to show you Cascade Elementary has been crowned Georgia State Math Champs. Our Eli Jordan shows us what these students did in order to secure the state title.
Elise, I am in the gymnasium at Cascade Elementary School where they're celebrating their big win with Prodigy Math. It's a monthly competition. It's a huge competition across the state, and they won their monthly state competition answering 7,773 questions correctly, beating out every other school in the state, and it's really cool. It's a feather in the hat for Cascade Elementary, and joining me right now is the principal of Cascade Elementary, Tiffany Moment. Tiffany, how you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. It is a great day here in our Tiger's Den because we won the state championship for Prodigy for the month of December. So I'm too excited.
Cool. And so tell me, Principal, what does this mean? I mean, you guys, this is a monthly competition, correct?
Yes, this is a monthly competition for all schools that participate within the state of Georgia. And so each month, a school has the opportunity to be the state champion. And so we were that champion for the month of December.
And so, Principal, you can look at me and all that. You don't have to look directly at the camera. It's fine. And just tell me, I mean, this gives you guys an opportunity to compete on the national level, correct?
Yes, that is exciting because this puts us on a national platform. Our scholars get a chance to participate with students from among all over the country, which is exciting. So they get a chance to showcase their mathematics skill for what they've learned here in Atlanta Public Schools and show the entire United States how smart they are and how mathematically competitive they are as well.
It's a chance to win $200,000 for some tech gear, right?
$200,000 to be used for instructional materials, supplies, and all things that will continue to help us enhance the education opportunities for our students.
So real quick, tell me a little bit about Cascade Elementary. What are the grade range here?
Cascade Elementary, we are a school that houses pre-K through 5th grade. We're located in the heart of Southwest Atlanta, Cascade Heights community. We are a proud hidden gem within the Cascade Heights community, but we pride ourselves that our motto is we grow from good to great every single day. And that's what you're seeing, greatness manifesting itself right now in the form of mathematics.
And so how surprised were you when you learned you won for the month of December?
Oh my goodness, I was coming back from winter break and I was so ecstatic when I got the email that we were the champions for the state of Georgia. I had to look at it twice. I'm like, not Atlanta, not Fulton County, but the entire state. That was amazing to know that our students can compete among the best of the best.
Have you guys ever won the monthly challenge before?
We have not won the monthly challenge before. In fact, we only started playing Prodigy this school year. And so once our students learned about this opportunity, they just took off. I mean, they began to play it day and night, Saturdays and Sundays, because they were determined to be, they were determined to be champs because we love to be the best. However, day
enjoyed the mathematics competition and components that this program has. My.
No, you're good. There's something about competition that gets the kids going and wanting to learn, right?
Competition is crazy, and I guess that's just a human instinct. You always want to be the best wherever you do, and that's what we instill at Cascade Elementary School. If you're going to do something, do it very well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Principal Tiffany Moment here at Cascade Elementary, and congratulations to Cascade Elementary School for winning the month of December in the Prodigy Math Competition, answering 7,773 questions correctly and winning for the month of December and an opportunity to play in the Nationals. Back to you guys.
Awesome, Eli. Looks like a ton of fun. Those students worked so hard to get there, so it's incredible to see their hard work paying off, Tom. And, you know, anytime I feel like, especially locally, the fact that our students are so smart and capable and won that, I mean, I'm proud of them.
Yeah, nothing like a party at school in the middle of the day.
Yeah, it's
right?
like, oh, maybe we'll win more math and other championships if we can do that in the middle of the day.
Distraction. Ariel, we got a lot still ahead for you this afternoon for the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. We're waiting on Atlanta police to hold a news conference about a sexual assault suspect that is now under arrest. They're going to provide details as to the circumstances surrounding that case. We're watching for that live news conference to happen any moment, and when it does, we will take you there. Also, day 4 now, Ariel, of the trial of Edric Faust, the man accused of killing that UGA law student so long ago. You know, there's been some courtroom drama involved in all of this between the defense attorney and the judge. We're going to check in with Tyler, that trial going on as we speak, as to the latest on how things are unfolding there. Also going to check in on the White House. They had a lot of information for us today during the White House news briefing, which happened just about an hour ago. So we're going to play some sound from Caroline Levitt as to what the White House is talking about. And I believe the markets, boy, they are having a rough week, especially tech stocks. But the Dow Jones down almost 500 points right now. So we're going to check in on the markets as well.
Well, Tom, thank you so much. And thank you guys so much for being here with us live. I'm Ariel Unstop. More to come at 3 o'clock.
Welcome, everybody, to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. I'm your host, Tom Haines, live with you here in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom as we're covering stories here that matter to you, information that you need to know about. We want to begin with a devastating situation in DeKalb County. Firefighters putting out a fire there that claimed the lives of 4 family members. This fire broke out at a home on Glenwood Avenue. It happened just before midnight last night. And we're getting new information. Firefighters, we're told, pulled 1 person from the home who later died at the hospital. 3 others found deceased inside. The cause of the fire currently unknown as investigators work to determine where this blaze started, but they actively tried to put out the remains of this fire. A family member who spoke with reporters off camera identified 2 of the deceased as his mother and his father. Authorities confirmed the victims included 3 men and 1 woman, though their names and ages have not been released. We're continuing to learn more about the circumstances surrounding this fire, and as we do, we, of course, will bring it to you. Want to talk about the latest in the Tara Baker murder trial, joined by Tyler Finger. Tyler, we're in day 4 now of this trial, where Edric Faust is the defendant. He's the man accused of killing the University of Georgia law student so long ago, back in 2001. What has been interesting in this case, and what has generated a lot of interest among our viewers, both on air and online, are the courtroom dramatics, if you will, between the defense attorney and the judge. We're in day 4 now of this case.
Yeah, lots of objections, lots of requests for mistrial. We had 2 yesterday alone for requests for mistrial. All of them been denied for the mistrial aspect of it, but obviously from the defense's standpoint, they're trying to make sure that they can have what they say is a fair trial, which is why they are calling into question some of the decisions that are being made in the courtroom by the judge. But again, this is obviously, as you said, day 4. We have continued to hear testimony today. We heard from a number of people, including a roommate, a neighbor, and a fingerprint analyst. That roommate was on the stand the longest today. Prosecutors asked her about a relationship with Baker and Baker's personal life leading up to her murder. On the stand today, the friend acknowledged that Baker was very private about her life. She said in the days leading up to Baker's death, she noticed that Baker stopped spending as much time with her boyfriend, which got them wondering if something was going on. But she said they didn't want to pry into all of that because she was very personal and very private, and they didn't want to do that, even though they were friends and they all lived together. Previous testimony said she was focused on her law studies after her first semester. So obviously the prosecution's trying to say that's why she was kind of maybe spending less time with her boyfriend. During cross-examination, Faust's defense team questioned the roommate about the boyfriend, who was previously a suspect. The defense argues that Baker and the boyfriend's relationship was strained, and during testimony today seemingly tried to paint him as someone with more motive. So obviously this is what's continuing. It is a situation that we're obviously seeing it play out in court. Testimony is continuing right now, and a lot of people are streaming that on our Fox Local app, also on fox5atlanta.com and our YouTube channel. I think yesterday alone our digital team was telling me that 50,000 people streamed along with it live.
It's not only a fascinating case, but some of the courtroom antics are interesting to watch as well as this trial continues. Tyler, thanks. Want to take you to live pictures now from the Atlanta Police Department, where they are holding that news conference updating us on a sexual assault suspect. Let's listen in.
Very cooperative, very brave. She was able to put out a sketch for us for GBI as well, and she was able to identify him in a lineup that conducted. So, very brave person. She came forward right away in the sexual assault, and then we commend her for what she's done, and she's actually been cooperative in the investigation as well.
Lieutenant, how does he get into the apartment? What does he say?
In this incident here, we have a witness that saw him come through. The witness was closing the door of the area. He forced his way in. She immediately called concierge, but when they looked for him, he was not there. That victim as well was very helpful in the assistance of this case as well, because she was able to pick Mr. Kwame Shabazz out in the photo lineup as well. So him going through the apartment complexes is, telling the citizens to be safe. If you see anyone coming in, that don't need to be there, let us know and give us a call.
So how did he get into the victim's apartment?
The victim, he was forced away in. She was out in the hallway taking her trash out. When she went into that, he forced his way in.
Had he been at this apartment complex before and kind of gotten to know the area of the apartment
We're still investigating that to see how he known how the area works. Just by the way he's walking around, he's maybe familiar with a lot of the area. The next day, we had a 911 call in the 2200 block of Piedmont, where a young lady witnessed him expose himself. She called 911. She was also very helpful in identifying him as well. So my investigator was able to put everything together and get warrants for him for the public in D.C. as well.
So that's going to be in this community?
That one is yes.
Can you talk about the use of cameras and people submitting their camera footage if they have any to the Atlanta Police Department?
Yes, ma'am. If you've seen him any video footage in that area of 2200 block of Piedmont, 700 block of Cosmopolitan, please give us a call. We are still collecting evidence in this case, and that anything helpful would be very helpful in the investigation. If you have a Ring camera and you go back to that date, please look it up. Please forward it to us. Call Crime Stoppers, give us a call 911, and the investigators will actually come out and help you guys out.
In case he's watching, what will be your message to him?
Turn yourself in. Turn yourself in. We are looking for you. We are going to apprehend you. Turn yourself in. There's no way you can run. The citizens of Atlanta is very helpful in investigations. If they see you out there, they will call. So for you, please turn yourself in to make everything run a lot smoother and get closer to the victim.
What can we, apartment dwellers, do to protect ourselves better, or anyone, in our home?
Be aware of surroundings. Array your surroundings. If you don't have cameras, a Ring camera helps out. Just be aware of surroundings. The victims and witnesses in this case, they provided cameras. So those cameras will help in an investigation. If we had no cameras, we don't know where everybody is. If we had no cameras, we cannot track suspects. So cameras are very helpful. And check the quality of your cameras. You can actually import your cameras to the city of Atlanta. So we have ways we can communicate with the citizens to make sure everything we can work collectively together to solve this crime and many others.
Can you talk a little bit about the incident in College Park as well?
That is ongoing investigation with College Park. I can't speak on the investigation. We notified them that it was actually, the same suspect that they're having, and then the sexual assault that had occurred in College Park. Don't know the details of sexual assault. That would be an investigation that we can.
So when does he become a serial rapist?
The serial rapist is going to be. Right now, we're going to believe he would be. He has the two. We don't want him to do any more. We don't want to put a number on it. He has two victims that he do not know. We don't want to put a number on a serial, whatever it may be. One rape is too many. Two rapes is a lot. So we don't want to continue on. One rape to me could be a serial rapist, I'm sorry. It's too many. You're violating someone's body, so we don't want to put a number on that. So we cannot put, I don't want to go that to the serial number.
Talk more about how he doesn't know these people and why that sticks out.
It's very important. It's just when you have someone that's preying on our victims, it's very important. It sticks out because you don't know who you are. It's not an acquaintance that we met. It's someone that you just do not know. So that's very important, is to know your surroundings. If it's somebody you don't know, and then you question, you question it. You call for assistance, you get security, you get someone to help, you call 911.
Okay, last question. Are there any specific areas that he's known to frequent?
At this point, we feel that he's unhoused, unsheltered, so that's from place to place. These crimes did commit in the same area in North Atlanta, Piedmont area, Cosmopolitan area, but Atlanta, city of Atlanta.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll provide this information that you see on the screen. It will be on our website, so there you can pull that particular video. And again, if anyone has any information or any tips, Crime Stoppers 404-577-TIP. Thank you.
Y'all keep the video running.
We can always visit our website, atlantapd.org, put in the address, and you'll see exactly where it is. Just go to find my zone if you want to see exactly where.
All right, this is a news conference by Atlanta police, an update on a sexual assault suspect wanted in at least 2 cases where the victims were unknown to him. We're looking at evidentiary video here provided by Atlanta police on who they are looking for and the circumstances surrounding what they say was a sexual assault on not 1 but 2 occasions. So they're asking if anybody has information on the person who they say in these images committed those acts. They would love to hear from you. But again, that information being provided to us and the video by Atlanta police. Want to talk to you about a situation that happened at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, and that is a huge fuel spill that they were dealing with. This fuel, Jet A fuel it's called, particularly noxious fuel, spilled into one of the local rivers, just happened to be called the Flint River. I mean, how's that for a coincidence? And so EPA officials are working to clean this up. They say thousands and thousands of gallons spilled. Officials in Griffin saying that the city drinking water was tested. It is safe despite lingering odors. Jet fuel has a very, very profound smell. Atlanta crews have worked around the clock to clean the Flint River up after that massive spill. Spokesperson with the Environmental Protection Agency estimated, I said thousands. We're talking about 10,000 gallons of it leaking from that faulty hydrant attached to a fuel system pipeline at the airport, which according to airport officials burst just north of Terminal T, creating that leak. The EPA is out there trying to control this situation and clean it up. But again, no drinking water affected, and officials say they have it under control. As we continue here on the 3 p.m. stream on this Thursday, we're joined in-house for a change by Doug Evans, who has a sort of a difficult situation, Doug, out of Peachtree City, where you went into a health clinic, Healing Bridge Clinic, which provides health services to those not only in difficult times, they might not have insurance, they might be on hard financial times. Anyway, it's a place they can go to get treatment, all right? They can get treatment and imaging and all kinds of things, but one of the major vendors that provides services for Healing Bridge is pulled out, and now they're in a real bind.
They are. And to give you a brief history on Healing Bridge Clinic, this is a clinic in Peachtree City that started in 2009, started by a missionary nurse, an actual nurse, to provide health, medical care for people who don't have health insurance, Tom. So fast food workers, you can imagine any kind of industry where people don't have insurance. So this picks up the slack. Some of the finest doctors in the South Metro area work in this clinic for free. Nurses, all kinds of practitioners down there doing all kinds of things: podiatry, neurology, women's health, cardiology, all kinds of things in this clinic, and they serve the Fayette County and surrounding areas. Okay, so that's the backstory.
Right.
The problem is, as you said, this imaging company that has been with them for so many years has pulled out. And so there's no imaging anymore for these patients. No podiatry, no cardiology, no women's health.
And it's all about imaging. If you say, I got a pain in my shoulder, they need to find out what's going on inside.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I did an interview with Mike Conaway, the executive director, this morning, and we can hear what he had to say about it.
So the Healing Bridge Clinic is a free clinic providing health care for the uninsured residents of Fayette and surrounding counties. We saw our first patient in September of 2009, and we've been seeing patients on a regular basis ever since.
Right, so the people that come in here don't have insurance, and they're getting great care from some of the best care providers in the South Metro area.
Exactly. We have 27 local providers from Fayette and Coweta County, some of the top names of their industries and of their professions that volunteer here on a regular basis providing the care to our patients.
Yeah, tell me some of the care things that are provided here.
We have cardiology, orthopedic, podiatry, dermatology, GYN, neurology, psychiatry, general medicine, just a great resource of help that we get.
Yeah. Funded through
the community, through local churches, businesses, individuals. Obviously, we write grants, and it's just funded by the generosity of our community.
Okay. So you find yourself in a little situation right now.
Yeah, we do. From day one, a local imaging company has provided imaging for our patients at no charge, and that imaging is just vital to the care plans that our providers need to develop. And recently, that provider has decided to no longer provide imaging, and it was kind of come out of the dark, kind of hit us, blindsided us, no real notice, and it was effective immediately. So we're just in a desperate search for a company that would work with us on providing imaging.
For people who don't know, why is imaging important to what goes on here?
So imaging is vital to our care plan. Our podiatrist, as an example, needs an x-ray on every patient that she sees. Cardiologists need tests, stress tests and tests run. And our neurologist needs some tests run. So every provider we have relies on the imaging to put together the care plan for their patient.
All right, so they're in a real bind down there. A great program provides great medical assistance to people who couldn't afford it otherwise.
Yeah.
And so they're reaching out to the community for, anybody who works for a company or whatever that does imaging, and there's a billion of these places, right? They're wanting to have these kinds of discussions with them to help them.
Can they provide any other services in the meantime while they're looking for an imaging company to come in there, like consultations or vaccines or drawing blood and doing labs, things like that?
They can do all of those things. And as you heard, they also do psychiatry and things like that. So there are certainly some things that they can do. He said that they might also be able to, if the situation's bad enough, contract out with a local hospital and say, hey, go there, we'll take care of it or whatever. So they're just doing the best they can.
So do they have the imaging equipment inside here, or do they send them out to places?
They send it out to a contractor there in Peachtree City, somebody that's been
that
with
receives
them.
These patients.
Yeah, and they do they got the MRI, CTs, X-rays, everything.
Did they tell you? And I always ask you a million questions. Some of them
always good questions.
Some of them unfair, some of them in bounds. But did the imaging company say why they pulled out of there? Like, couldn't they continue to serve them?
Mike Conaway kind of told me the story behind it. I don't know if it is something that they really want to get into because it's on the business side. Yeah. It's on the business side of that company.
Couldn't continue to provide the service.
Right. They were doing it pro bono. Okay. And stuff, and so
now what they're looking for is another company to step up.
Real desperate need.
And like the doctors and everyone else in there, kind of volunteering their time and services to help those less fortunate.
I mean, think about it. They have one of the best cardiologists on the South Metro side who does interventional cardiologist. You go to this guy, Tom, and you're going to have to wait a long time to get in to see him.
Normally, right?
Right.
Here he goes in and
he does it for free, right? And so these people are getting great services. I don't want to say he's dead in the water, but a stretch. Yeah. This guy can't provide that care anymore without the imaging.
Well, I would think as a physician, there's nothing more rewarding if you're a brilliant physician to be able to go in and render services for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to go in and see you. The same for an organization to provide imaging services or whatever they need. I mean, it's beneficial and humanitarian on so many levels, but probably a huge tax write-off too. So hopefully somebody will fill the gap, step up, and get in there and get these people back on track.
I do a lot of things. I am not a tax expert.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, that's out there too.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
We all love charity, number one.
Absolutely.
And we all love deducting charity on our taxes.
Right.
So that helps.
Right. A chance for somebody to step up and help these folks.
Doug, thanks.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. found that very bizarre. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. So happy that you're with us today, joined by meteorologist Jonathan Stacy. Jonathan, clouds, I'm just looking out our window here, finally cleared out this morning. Off to a cloudy start, but it's so good to see the sunshine once again.
And from those clouds, we found a few flurries, especially out east. It seems like it's the northeastern part of the state that keeps on getting anything and everything that winter has to offer. But with the breaking up of the clouds and the passing of the precip, we're now inviting in some sunshine, but that sunshine is not doing anything for the temperatures. Let's take a look at the numbers right now. 44 degrees here in Atlanta. That's still dealing with some 30s as you look out to the east. So 38 from Gainesville going down to Covington at 39 degrees. Some have broken into the mid 40s, such as Eaton coming in at 45 degrees, 41 in Carrollton, and 47 leads the way there in Rome. But it's a wind chill that continues to do a whack-a-mole on us. That winter whiplash hitting us once again as we have opened up the freezer door, unleashing another round of gusty northwesterly winds, and that is pushing in some Arctic air our way. So it feels like it's 38 degrees here in the city, feeling like a chilly 28 in Canton, 25 in Blairsville. Those wind chill values do not get into the 40s today, so we'll keep those numbers in the mid to high 30s over the next few hours before everybody everywhere goes down into the 20s for an actual air temperature tonight. Here's a look at Fox 5 live operator. There's nothing on the horizon here. We have a cold front that passed through yesterday, some wraparound moisture from that low that is parallel with the mid-Atlantic. Brought us a few flurries this morning as it mixed in with some of that cold air. We have a disturbance that you can see in that hatched brown line there. It's going to swing our way, and by the time it moves to us or moves through our area, it will be a cold front. Watch it here. It changes on a dime. So we'll try to bring in some warmer air tomorrow, but that warmer air is short-lived as a cold front comes and knocks it down off its pedestal by the time we get into the Friday evening period going into Saturday. Even Saturday morning, it will be possible to see a few flurries flying up across the far northern tier. So here's how it all comes together when we look at the numbers. So tomorrow we experience an uplift in the temperatures. We'll start out with temperatures below freezing across the area to make a high of 58 degrees. And then once again, that front comes through and it knocks us down by 10 degrees. So we're making progress. It's like we take 2 steps forward to take 4 steps backward. And that's Saturday. So Saturday is going to feel very much like today. We're going to rid ourselves of the cloud cover pretty early on in the day, and there will be plenty of sunshine. But that sunshine, even at its best, will not warm us back up into the 50s. But hold on and don't lose courage, because by Sunday evening, we're at 56 degrees. And then the 60s are locked in for the work week to come. 64, 69, 68, and 63 for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the week to come, respectively. It should be a fairly nice week of above average temperatures with fairly meager rain chances as we get into the middle of next week.
So we were talking about the weekend being nice after so many rotten weekends, but I was looking at the front that was sweeping through. So does that mean Saturday morning's going to be kind of...
Oh, yeah, it's going to have a bite to it.
Little...
Yeah, 27
chilly,
degrees.
But I mean, like cloudy, and we want to see some sunshine.
There'll be some passing of the clouds, but the clouds really won't play that much of a role in the forecast. It will be the winds once again, similar to today. The winds are kind of at our backs, so it's kind of hitting us hard as they come in out of the north and the west. But as soon as the winds soften, we'll bring out some sunshine. The clouds will go along with the front, and things will start to look good. It just won't feel great until Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
And that's when we'll feel the warmth of 50s.
And we like the warming trend into next week.
Yeah, look at that. The 6 to 10 day outlook here shows that warm air reaches up across the nation's heartland and it spreads to the east, and that seems to be a mainstay right on through Valentine's Day. Now, there are some big changes as we get into the latter part of next week, but let's just kind of take this 1 to 2, 3 days at a time. And as we get into next week, we're looking at fairly warm temperatures, which is kind of a nice reprieve after the rough run-ins we've had with winter over the past 3 weeks.
Well, it's given us a little taste of spring, if you will.
Taste.
Next week.
Just a little taste.
Just a little one. You promised me you were going to teach me how to tie your tie knot. Okay. And you haven't done that yet. So
if I teach you, I'm going to teach everybody.
I know. It's kind of like your trademark.
Yeah.
But I want the secret.
Okay.
All right.
Tie tutorials.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take next week off, but when I get back, I got you.
Great. To wait another week? Thanks a lot, Jonathan. Thanks. We'll see you soon.
Indeed.
Today, the White House held a news conference about the president's agenda for the rest of the day. He is going to speak tonight, make an announcement about drug prices and Trump RX. That is the website that the government created to be able to buy drugs through a more affordable means. Caroline Levitt also discussing today crime being down and the southern border being secured. Let's listen to a little bit more of what she had to say.
That can happen when Democrats and Republicans, when the federal government and state and local officials work together. And that's what Trump wants to see to improve public safety across our country. When you have a leader like President Trump who empowers good cops to be cops and to arrest bad criminals, American communities will become safer. Many of the media outlets in this room have expressed shock and confusion at these remarkable statistics. The New York Times declared that, quote, no one knows for sure what's behind the staggering drop in the murder rate. The reason is very clear. It is President Trump's leadership and his unwavering commitment to law and order. The drop in crime is more proof that all that is required to improve public safety on our streets is a leader with the will to do what is necessary to protect law-abiding American citizens. The terror and chaos that was unleashed under Democrat rule is a choice. It's a choice to put violent criminals ahead of innocent Americans, a choice to force us all to live in fear because of soft on crime, liberal politicians, prosecutors, and judges who lack the basic willingness to do their jobs and put dangerous people behind bars. On November 5th, 2024, the American people made a resounding choice that they've had enough of that, and that's precisely why they re-elected President Trump. So even as Democrats and the liberal media are engaged in hysteria about this administration arresting and deporting violent, criminal, illegal aliens, the undeniable truth is that deporting these individuals is one of the primary reasons why America's streets are safer today than they were 1 year ago when President Trump assumed office. Former President Biden and the Democrats left our borders wide open, and President Trump and the brave men and women of ICE are removing these dangerous criminals. So here are just a few recent examples. Number one, a Venezuelan national and active Tren de Aragua gang member with a rap sheet including homicide, assault, child cruelty, domestic violence, and property damage. This is an individual I can assure you not a single one of you in this room would want in your neighborhood, whether you admit it or not. He entered the U.S. in 2022, and he was released into our country by the Biden administration. He is no longer here, thanks to President Trump. An El Salvadorian national and known MS-13 associate, previously convicted of homicide, conspiracy to commit homicide, and kidnapping, arrested for arson.
All right, that's Caroline Levitt speaking from the White House today. A bit of an audio glitch toward the end of that news conference. Her daily media brief, really, talking about crime being down, security at the southern border, and the president making an announcement tonight about Trump RX, the drug program that the government has begun online to give people access to drugs at a significantly lower rate. The president negotiating those drug prices directly with the CEOs of major drug companies like Pfizer, Merck, etc. So Caroline Levitt speaking from the White House, the snowy grounds of the White House up in Washington, D.C. Boy, that's a pretty picture if you want to sit on that for a second. Not one that we often get to see, but is available to us at some points during the winter. You got the White House there with the beautiful flags flying there. The Washington Monument, the Smithsonian Libraries, National Mall in the background, all covered in a beautiful blanket of snow. I'm presuming that this snow was part of what swept through our area last weekend, but up there it kind of sticks around for the winter months. We got a lot still to get to this afternoon. We're going to take you to a great program at a technical college named after the late, great Hank Aaron, and find out what the latest is on the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother out in Arizona as we continue. Welcome back, everybody. It is 36 minutes past the hour. We're so glad you're with us this afternoon here on Fox Local. I'm Tom Haynes with you live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom, walking you through all of the stories that are hitting today. A lot happening live here. The market's taking a hit today. We're going to touch on that here coming up a little bit later. We're so glad you're streaming with us on our Fox Local app, or if you're watching through one of your streaming services on your home TV. Certainly glad you're here this afternoon, or on our YouTube channel at Fox 5 Atlanta, TikTok, or on the radio, 107.9 HD2 FM. We're just blanketing the area with coverage here on Fox Local. I want to get to a great initiative on the part of Atlanta Technical College honoring Hank Aaron this morning. He was very involved with the school, provided funding for scholarships, etc. His wife is continuing where he left off, and our Chris Rosenthal was there.
Well, I'm at Atlanta Technical College, where this morning there was a legacy celebration for Hank Aaron. Of course, the legendary baseball player. We all know him for his home run record and playing for the Atlanta Braves. He was also very heavily involved with Atlanta Technical College. He was on the board here, and his foundation has donated over the years for many scholarships here. This helped out many students. So every year on his birthday, which today, February 5th, is his birthday, they hold a legacy celebration in his honor. And I spoke a little earlier today with Dr. Victoria Seals just about that legacy.
Mr. Aaron was an amazing supporter of the college. He actually began as the first board of directors in 1997 with the college, and then later on he helped start the Atlanta Technical College Foundation. So through his support, we had the first BMW technician training program as part of our automotive, and ongoing it's just been amazing scholarship support for our students. And so through the Chasing the Dream Foundation, we have 10 endowed scholarships, as well as Mrs. Billy Aaron started a New Beginnings scholarship to help support those students who leave the New Beginnings Academy and matriculate here at Atlanta Technical College. And so we overall have about 10 to 12 scholarships that the Aaron family continue to support here at Atlanta Technical College.
Yeah, we got to hear from some of those students today and some of their stories, but just about what these scholarships really mean to them. It's pretty special for them too, huh?
Indeed. I mean, for a lot of our students, it's a little bit of money, anywhere from $500 to $1,000, can mean the difference between them being able to finish their programs or having to stop out. So the scholarship support that they get is truly life-changing and generational changing, and so it really helps them to stay on track and get on their pathway to economic mobility. So Mr. Aaron, as you said, was an amazing baseball player, but he was also a great businessman, as well as a philanthropy was very important to him. And so we're just honored here at the college to be part of his legacy, and every year to help celebrate him and his family and their connection with the college.
There were students here today, as well as Billy Aaron, Hank Aaron's wife, and his family members, grandkids, great-grandkids were here to celebrate. But Mrs. Aaron, she took the stage, spoke a little bit, and gave some really poignant words. Let's listen in.
And in our communities, we found helpers. We found people who didn't mind sending you out to pick pecans. Bring me a bucket of pecans and I'll give you $1. Go out and do whatever you could do and take your dime home or your nickel home that you received for whatever you did. All of this, as little or as small as it seems, all of those kinds of things helped us get a foot on life, get a leg up, and we succeeded in our efforts to become somebody. For indeed, Hank Aaron became somebody.
And one of the other highlights of today's celebration is getting a look at the renovation renderings for the Hank Aaron Academic Complex. This building was named after him several years ago, but it was built in the 60s, and they will be renovating it starting in May and expect to be done by summer of 2027. Back to you.
Chris, thanks. What a noble effort on the part of Hank Aaron's family, and so amazing that his wife is continuing that effort there. Love to see that. We want to switch gears a little bit now, talk about the situation involving Savannah Guthrie's mother. Now been 5 days since her mother went missing. You might have seen on your social media feed Savannah Guthrie and her family making a direct appeal in the event that her mother was kidnapped and is being held for ransom, to dialogue with that family and provide proof of life, so to speak. They want to know that their mother is alive. They said that she is missing critical medication to keep her alive, and investigators have been swarming that house. Police continuing their search for Mom Nancy. Savannah Guthrie and her siblings in that emotional video released just last night. The family acknowledging reports, perhaps you've heard, of a potential ransom letter. And while they say that they're ready to talk to her captors, they want that proof that she's out there and that she is alive. The 84-year-old last seen Saturday night after being dropped off at her home following dinner with family. And now we're hearing from authorities new details as to the timing of how the rest of that evening and her disappearance may have unfolded.
Saw last night the family. They just hurt, understandably so. And so I really want you to know this entire team here, those behind me, and our community are hurting with you. We really just want Mom back, okay? Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home. Our department, the Sheriff's Department, along with all of our partners at the FBI, have been working around the clock. And we just want her home and find a way to get to the bottom of all of this, just as you do. But I have other partners out there who have stepped up, and you've probably noticed them in the last few days, if not the last few hours, and you're going to see more of that. Well, I've made a decision to contact our PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers from this entire valley. Pasquayaki Police Department, Tucson Police Department, Marana Police Department, Oro Valley Police Department, Pima College Police Department, Tucson International Police Department, Sarita Police Department. There's so many of them, and they are going to help us tremendously. And that's really done because we have so much in front of us still, and we're hoping that, I know the FBI has committed a very large number of men and women to partner with us, work side by side with us. We go do an interview, they're going to be there with us. We're going to go look at some evidence or process evidence, they're going to be right there with us. We're sharing every piece of information, all the data we can to get this thing solved. And it's important that my partners in law enforcement know and understand their roles, because it is very large, complex investigation with a lot of moving parts. And we're at that phase now where sometimes we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis. We're waiting for lab reports. But even then, when they come back quickly, for example, some DNA, we rushed what we thought was the best target for DNA. We did a rush through and got some of that back. The results were minimal. I think you all know of the blood on the porch. That was one we did. It came back to Nancy. That's what we know. But there's still more items that have been submitted. We just haven't got them back yet. But in the meantime, we're not just sitting on our haunches waiting. We do have a number of leads coming in, and that's why we brought in the FBI for one, but PCRIT as well, to be able to get out there and handle these leads as they come in as quickly and as expeditiously as we can. And every single lead is looked at, every one of them. And so we're gearing up. You probably have some questions about what you've seen in the last couple of days. I'll gladly answer those at that time. But it really is about getting our partners out there. To be fair, when we went to that scene the first night, Saturday night, it was just us. Since then, the FBI and others have asked, can we go and see it as well? And that's what you've been seeing. But it is a very important case to not just me and my team, but this entire community, all of our law enforcement partners. Suspects. I know there's been a lot out there about suspects, and I want to be very clear. At this time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case. We are working our best to do that. But to be clear, we have nobody of interest or any suspects that you would consider a prime suspect. We're just not there. We're not there yet. The timeline, I think we've got it on the board, do we not? This is a timeline that we have been able to develop with some of the things that we've had processed. Various pieces of electronics that we've gathered. And you look at some of this, and I know you're going to say, well, why did it take you so long to get this to us, Sheriff? Well, because one thing, it's got to go out and be processed at different lab sites, and sometimes that stuff comes back to us, and like you, we have questions. And we say, wait a minute, what is this about? What about this? Could it be that? And so it's sent back, or it's sent somewhere else. So, and that's happening with all of the things we see, that process, that review, and that questioning of, all right, what is it we're looking at? So I'll go over it with you. You can see it on the board there, but at about 5:32 p.m., these are approximate times. 5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family, just visiting. At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home, and we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes, because that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself, it just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So that detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video. But we're not giving up on that. 2:28. Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see the scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, how come there's an ICAC member out here, or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort.
All right, Chris Nanos, the Pima County Sheriff, giving a news conference as to the status of the investigation into the mother of Savannah Guthrie, the NBC News Today Show anchor, saying that they have, leads and tips and, doorbell camera information, but the doorbell camera wasn't on the recorded loop. You can subscribe with your doorbell camera to it recording what happens in front of your house, but it's a paid subscription. In other words, if you have a Ring doorbell camera, you got to pay to have it create a data bank of video that records in front of your house. According to the Pima County Sheriff, that wasn't the case at the home of Nancy Guthrie. They said they just got a hit, and that recorded itself. But what that hit was, whether it was an animal or something else or a person, they just don't know. But they are literally tracking every single lead they can to find Nancy Guthrie, up to the very, very highest levels of our government, including a call by the President of the United States to Savannah Guthrie, not only offering his sympathies to her and her family, but all of the resources of the federal government that he can offer to support this investigation. So we'll continue to check on that as it unfolds. Coming up, we got a great story to wrap things up here in the 3 p.m. hour. This math contest at one of our local schools that culminated in one big party today that you're not going to want to miss. There's a great story about some math champs today at one of our local schools. Students answering more than 7,000 math questions correctly in December to secure. This is a state title that they earned. The win guarantees Cascade a spot in the Prodigy National Cup Finals this May. The school now celebrating that today, and they are in the running now, get this, to share $200,000 in technology grants. This is Cascade Elementary School celebrating this moment, answering, over 7,700 math questions correctly. I can't answer 2, and they're doing 7,000. Math is definitely not my thing. We also have information on the arrest of a UGA player. We're talking about London Seymour, arrested following an investigation into an incident report. The UGA Athletics Association renaming the freshman status as the team prepares for the upcoming season. He, again, was a freshman, arrested earlier this week on multiple counts of property damage, according to local law enforcement. He is a member of the Bulldogs 2025 recruiting class, booked and subsequently released on bail, according to Online Athens. Specific details regarding the events leading up to the changes remain limited. We haven't heard from the team yet. The arrest making this a very high-profile legal entanglement for the program's newest cohort of athletes. On to utility bills. Boy, they are expected to rise this year. I just got a survey in my email from Georgia Power asking if they're satisfied with if I'm satisfied with their service, but prices keep getting higher. Utility bills, maybe the highest they've been in a long time, and our Public Service Commission just voted to raise them even more. State regulators approving a $31 billion rate increase just last year, more than double the $15 billion they asked for in 2024. So it seems like everything, including our power bills, is going up. I want to thank you for joining us for the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. I'm Tom Haines. So glad you're with us this afternoon. The news continues right here, right now.
Fox 5 News at 4